Would you say Cal Kest is a Jedi now? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zereth Prevails. First off, huge congrats for unlocking Jedi Cal. It's not a tough mission, but getting all those requirements can be challenging, and you've taken your first step into a larger world of really boosting your Jedi faction. Honestly, it is a really fun character in Jedi Cal. He helps an enormous swath of the Jedi faction, and I want to show you guys why I've been pushing you guys to farm him for so long. He's so versatile, and he does a lot of stuff. I'm excited to show it to you. First, I want to say a huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do, all of your support. I truly appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment, do something to mount the algorithm. The Calgorithm, even, folks. It's a good time. Calgorithm fornication, or something. That's definitely something else than that. So, alright, first, which Zetas and Omicrons does he need? First off, his Omicrons are all for territory battles, and so far, doesn't seem like he needs any of them. I've heard people swear by his leadership because it helps with the Zepho mission. We don't have enough data to really tell so far, but it seems like, as for a combat mission, you don't really need it. The other ones just don't seem necessary at all, to be honest. Yes, they might help for the Zepho missions and everything, but I would advise probably staying away from them. The other thing that I will say is all three of his Zetas, I know that a lot of old timers are going to say, oh my gosh, you're really talking to me about Zetas. This is a seriously difficult thing for some people, though, trying to fit all the Zetas in. And I would implore you, first off, you absolutely need, if you want Jedi Cal to work in any kind of way that's going to be functional, you need the Impetuous Assault Zeta and the Jedi Survivor Zeta, and you really want the Windmill Defense Zeta as well, because that passes a turn to a Jedi, and I mean, it makes that team so crazy strong. So, yeah, you want all three Zetas if you can possibly afford it. Now, how do you mod him? There's a lot of debate going on about this, and really, what it boils down to is he doesn't do much damage. He's a facilitator. I know that he's an attacker. I know he does a lot of cool stuff in theory. However, like in the game, yeah, sure, he destroys people. He's a good attacker. In this game, he doesn't do that much damage. He relies on other Jedi to do damage, and he facilitates all that damage on his own. He's handing turns to people, he's putting armor shred on people, he's calling assists. He is just one-shotting characters without actually having to do damage itself, just like Nihilus or Cat or Mando, or, you know, are those it? There's probably a few others. Anyways, you just want him health. Lots of health, guys. Because the thing is, you don't need to worry about him getting debuffed. Because, yes, he can be debuffed. He can't be stunned. He can't be feared. He can't be ability blocked. And a lot of times, even if he's dazed, if something else happens to him, he's able to also just kind of mitigate that by, all he has to do is, if he gets a turn, he does a basic, and then he does another turn, so it takes 2 turns every time it's his turn. He essentially takes a bonus turn immediately after his basic, and, his basic also just dispels, for what it's worth. It's fancy, but he also he cycles through those debuffs very, very quickly, and honestly, he has a ton of things based off of his max health. He gets bonus protection, he does damage based on his percent health, he does all kinds of stuff with his health. His protection, sure, it's okay to have some, but I would say health is the most important, and then speed. You want to make sure that you're going at a decent rate, and yeah, that's also fairly important. Then, I mean, sure, throw some damage on him, that's fine. You'll have to excuse me, folks. I have to clear my throat sometimes. I'm not all the way healthy, but your Jedi Cal doesn't care. Now, the other thing that I would say, guys, before we jump into some actual just gameplay, is what relic level do you want him at? I've heard a lot of people saying, well, you only really need him at Relic 5, and probably if you just want him to survive and you're not in the top tiers, the top echelons of GAC, and you don't care about competing as much, Relic 5 might work. The thing that you're doing, though, if you have Jedi Cal and you've put yourself into the situation where you have unlocked him, you already have Seer, and honestly, guys, most guilds are able in Rise of the Empire to compete to get to the second wave, to the second phase, and you're doing yourself and your guild a disservice by not getting him to at least Relic 7 and Seer to Relic 7, because doing that mission, getting yourselves to Zepho, is going to long-term really impact your guild in a positive way, and it's going to help impact yourself in a positive way in the sense that you're going to get a lot of GET2, which in turn is going to help your Cairo crunch considerably. So I would say Relic 7 at least. I took my alts, which is a very, very low spending account, $10 a month, and that's it. I took him straight to Relic 8, and I don't regret it at all. So, yeah, the stats that I'm showing you guys are all from Relic 8. Relic 7's probably fine. I would just advise, guys, think of it as, okay, yeah, he's a utility character for you. He can be amazing for your guild as well. And if your whole guild buys into this mentality, it's going to make an enormous difference. So that being said, let's go to some actual gameplay. Well, first I'll show you guys the teams that I think are going to be the best. I mean, there's a million of them because he's one of those characters who facilitates the destruction of a lot of things. You're going to be able to destroy a ton of different top-end teams depending on which Jedi you have access to, depending on which Jedi are interacting. So let's go to the game. I'll show you some of the team comps, and then I'm going to show you some footage of how to use these teams, and then we can get you out of here. So let's get to the frackin' game. Whoa! We're in the game. Madness. This is pretty neat. All right. So the Jedi Master Luke build. Now, first, I will say I'm not the sole arbiter of truth here, guys. I'm not even in the top Territory Wars guild. I'm sure that there are some optimized builds out there that I just don't have access to, that I haven't seen yet, and we're still all exploring it. Not a ton of people unlocked Jedi Cal when he was first unlocked, and now we have a lot more information, but I want you guys to be able to get started with something, right? So this isn't the advanced course on how to use Jedi Cal. Maybe we'll make another video on that eventually, but for right now, this is just okay, here's some stuff that's going to work. So Jedi Master Luke build. One of the nice things about Jedi Cal is that he has Riposte, which is an ability where if he gives himself Riposte, which he can, then while he has that, when he's attacking out of turn, which works really well with Jedi Master Luke because everyone can call Jedi Cal, then he ignores protection, which is so powerful. It is ludicrous. I'll show you guys that live, actually. I'm so confident in how amazing it works that I'm just willing to show you guys it live. It's really fun. But, risk having to restart the whole video, making it again. But the thing about this is, Jedi Master Luke and company, you need ways to facilitate it. And, I mean, this is the best way to do it. Honestly, in my opinion, Jedi Master Luke with Jedi Cal it feels like a lifter unit for Jedi Master Luke. I wouldn't say he's specifically designed for him, but there are a lot of elements that go really, really well with him. Now, if you don't have Jedi Master Luke, you don't want to use Jedi Master Luke for this, that's fine. And this is a laundry list of your best Jedi. You're probably not going to make another really cohesive, coherent, amazing Jedi team that isn't like Qui-Gon Jinn or isn't Galactic Republic. This is going to basically take all of your Jedi up. If you don't want to do that, you can probably use a Jedi Master Luke build and then also build something like this. With Jedi Knight Luke, I like him against Malgus because he reduces Malgus and all of his team's max speed to whatever Jedi Luke's is. And then, the rest of it, is I was looking at swguh.gg at their insight page, and this is the build that has the highest win rate, except sometimes you swap out Mace for Jolie, it's about the same win rate. Now this is back in the days with the thick cron where everyone has a ton of extra health and protection, but I mean everyone did, so it still worked. The other one that worked really well, that has a slightly even higher win rate, is with Jedi Revan lead. And just keep in mind, folks, a lot of this has to do probably with the Basti cron, giving them all a bunch of extra bonus protection, but it still, I believe, is going to work. We don't live in a world without datacrons at this point. And so the important thing that you need to realize is you need to keep him from getting one shot against Malgus. A lot of times you need either like a pre-taunt so that Malgus doesn't just one-shot him, or you need some kind of cover. Like the Basticron gives everyone her leadership's worth of extra protection, which is going to be enough to survive at least one big hit from Malgus. So that's going to be a really primary important concern. Now I'm going to show you guys a comp that works with just the Jedi Cal Datacron, which of course is just specific to this day and age, this specific time. And so I'll show you guys that. And then for 3v3 there's a lot of options, because what's he trying to do? Usually you want to kill Malgus, but if you're not trying to kill Malgus, if your opponent doesn't place him, you can still get a lot of use out of him by just taking out another target. Remember, Jedi Cals, a lot of times you're going to think of him as just another guy to disintegrate someone or use the cat's force leap. Yes, those characters do other things, but a lot of times that's what it kind of boils down to. It distills down into who is Cal going to one-shot. Once you figure that out, then you can figure out the best team that you're going to use for that layout. And honestly, you're going to be using other Jedi for other things too. So sometimes you're going to have Hermit Yoda. Sometimes Hermit Yoda is going to go with Rey for the Rey mirror match, and you don't have Yoda. So instead, you're going to use Mace Windu. Okay, Mace Windu goes with Jedi Master Kenobi with Cat to kill Jabba, and you're also doing a Rey mirror match. Great, so who do you need to, if you're facing Malgus, you don't want to take that huge hit from him, then maybe you just take a pre-taunt like L3, and you're going to lose banners from it, but at least you're going to survive that one big hit until he can take out Malgus. Or maybe you take someone like, oh, hold on a sec, like Basti lead with some kind of Jedi tank so that you can get a pre-taunt from Basti's lead on that pre-taunt. So then whoever that tank is, you can see I have a Relic 9 Mace because I'm fancy. Now, I do really like him at Relic 9, but that's a totally different topic. You put Relic 9, you put a tank on the team, whether it's Mace, whether it's Elf Jedi, or whoever. And then you take the aggro away from Jedi Cal. Mace is really nice here just because of his Shatterpoint ability. It goes really nicely for a sustained fight where maybe Jedi Cal's not doing a ton of damage, neither is Basti, neither is Mace, but Mace just chips away at him so nicely that the combination of the three is just really strong. I think for 3v3, this is one of my favorite comps if you have all of them available. Mace is all over the place though, so you don't necessarily, I just used him with Jedi Revan and I think it was Basti to take out a Zori squad. He's just so versatile, and I should probably make a video on why Mace is so awesome, but one way or another, Jedi Cal he's not a leader, really. You don't use him as the lead. Sure, he does some stuff, but for the most part, he's going to be the guy who you protect and you kind of build the team around. Now, let me show you a couple videos on just footage of how to use this team, how I've used it in the past, and what things you can counter with it, and then I'm going to show you a couple live attacks, I believe, if we have time. If not, we'll just do a bonus video in the video description that you guys can go link yourself to. It's pretty fun. Probably just to have timestamps on this video though. So let's go to the actual gameplay, if I can actually find the stupid button for it. Whoa, here we go. Okay, so first off, we have this Lord Vader squad. And okay, so Jedi Cal has 3 different stances he can be in, and each stance does a lot of stuff. You have to keep in mind though, it's going to be simpler if you just think of them as which one, what's their primary attribute for each. If you do that, yes, you're going to forget about some of the abilities of it at some point. However, later down the line, you're going to be able to learn all that stuff. And I think that keeping in mind, like, the primary, the number one thing that he does for each is going to be really helpful. So in that regard, you start with 2 abilities. One is what I call the Armor Shred ability, and that does an AoE. It does an Armor Shred on the character that you target, and it does some other stuff, but those are the 2 things that I really like. Now, the other one is what I think of as the turn passing ability, the bonus turn, which you hand to one of your fellow Jedi. Yes, it calls people to assist. It also cleanses your whole team of debuffs, and you'll see just how strong it is against Lord Vader. Now, I know that a lot of people here are going to say, oh, hey, but I already used Jedi Master Luke as my primary against Lord Vader. If you get to the upper echelons of GAC, then you'll start learning that Jedi Master Luke, yes, can at times be used for Lord Vader, but you're also going to just get completely annihilated by a lot of the Lord Vader builds that have a ton of relics, that have a ton of stuff going on, and this build particularly is very strong against Jedi because it's got Darth Vader, and Maul is going to be hitting a lot, and I mean, they've got a lot of cool elements here. Is it the strongest build of Lord Vader versus Jedi? Probably not. There's no Inquisition here, but this is something that I did in GAC against. This is in the top 50, and yeah, let's get going. So you start here, and the one thing to remember, guys, we do have a Datacron on that gives us speed up to start with. So we went first. That happens, and Jedi Master Luke can be faster than Lord Vader. I typically don't run mine fast enough to do that unless I have speed up, which is 25% extra speed, but we got ability block on him. That's pretty nice. The thing that you have to remember too, though, guys, is that Jedi Cal and Jedi Revan are both not reviving, but cleansing all the time. Well, with one of their moves. So, okay. So Jedi Revan's really nice with Cal because he can hand the turn to Jedi Cal. And remember, his stacks, Jedi Cal's starting with 15 because of his Datacron as well. But I don't think that really comes into play here that much. Because once you get to 30 is when you can one-shot something, and you'll see how much damage and destruction we can do before we get to that point. So, what do we want to do here? We want to hand the turn to Jedi Luke, because Jedi Luke at the end of the day stuns everyone, and that is magic. Now, Darth Vader is going to do some pretty dirty things. We don't want to get ability blocked en masse by Darth Vader, so we can mark him. Now, Jedi Cal does his basic. Don't fall for it, guys, and use the Jedi Luke ability, because you won't get his first or second specials. He'll just skip his turn, basically, because that is his special. Now, the first move is the one that does Armor Shred. The other one is the one that just passes the turn. You need the Zeta for it. It passes the turn to whatever Jedi. It gives them a bonus turn. It also calls them to assist. It also cleanses. It also does other things, but for the sake of keeping it simple, it's the Armor Shred one or the bonus turn one. Those are the 2 moves that you have available. So, just trying to figure out who do we want to Armor Shred someone? Sure, let's Armor Shred Thrawn. It also stuns Thrawn. It does all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, so now let's call Cal. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's Cal or someone else, but you can call people to assist, killed Vader because he was marked. And now we're waiting. Let's pass the turn. Now remember, with Jedi Cal, you need to alternate abilities because you only get those stacks of whatever you call them, the blue stacks that you get up to 30. You have to get up to 30 in order to remove someone from play, and you only go up by 5 if you keep spamming the same ability, and you don't get all the cool stuff if you keep spamming it. For instance, Riposte is an awesome ability, you can't keep using that same ability and expect it to stay on him. It won't stay on him, so you have to alternate between abilities. So we did the armor shred, now we did the turn passing. And that also cleanses everyone. See, we're this far into a fight with Lord Vader and we have no debuffs whatsoever. We've already killed someone. It's pretty awesome. Alright, so we're just trying to shoot Thrawn a little bit here. Take him out. Okay, so he pops his ult, and then he does his AoE. Note that we have 3 people with locked ability blocks, and Jedi Cal and Revan are not one of them. This is why Jedi Revan is one of my favorite, and probably one of the most overpowered characters in this game. Even still, even after being 5 years old, he is still a force to be reckoned with. Jedi Cal just doesn't get ability blocked. He can be dazed, which is probably the worst thing that can happen to him. But otherwise, he's, I mean, other than dying, of course, but he's doing well. And, okay, so now he could do a number of things. You could, so you don't want to do the turn passing one, because yes, it'll pass the turn. It might cleanse people, but you're not going to get riposte or anything. But we already have 30, so why don't we just hack the head off of this Relic 9 Royal Guard. Just take him out. I thought about, so you can ignore taunt with Jedi Cal as well. Like, he's just got all sorts of awesome abilities, guys. He's just so high utility that I thought about taking out Maul, but Maul only has 2 stacks of Enrage or whatever it's called, Anguish. So we can wait a little bit for that. Alright, we're still ability blocked a little bit here, and alright, let's mark Maul, take him out, and I mean, it's basically over at this point, right? I mean, Lord Vader can wrestle himself back sometimes, but I mean, we've got all of our all-star Jedi here, so it's really no issue. And yeah, Maul's gone, and then the rest of it, I mean, I'll let you guys figure it out. I mean, we've got the armor shred, we've got the ability pass, and the thing that I will say is, I don't love once you've already killed someone, or once you've done the auto kill, I don't love using that final ability at really most of the time. We'll have to just explore that a little bit more, but for the most part, I alternate between the first 2 abilities instead. Now let's go to the next fight here, folks. I mean, I guess we can just hang out for just a minute. It's more satisfying to just wait and take out this Lord Vader squad. You have to remember which one you've done previously, or it's just you don't get as effective of a turn. Sometimes you just forget. So, alright, there we go. 71 banners. Now, let's go to 3v3, folks. And so this is with the same Jedi Cal Cron, where you start with 15 stacks. And yes, I know that seems a little bit broken. So here's one thing I'm going to show you. Before we had the Jedi Cal Cron, these are just, I just looked at my most recent 5 3v3s without the Jedi Cal Cron. This is with the thick Cron, and here's my results against Malgus. This is specific. If you look at my swgoh.gg, these are all things you can look up and find, and these are all high relic Malguses against these teams, and you can see there are all these variations of the teams that I just showed you, and I mean, we just run through them. So this one that I'm going to show you was the one I just did. I mean, I don't even think my opponent's attacked yet. This is the one I did just previously, earlier tonight, and I didn't have Mace. I didn't have, maybe I had Basti available. I don't know. No, she wasn't available either. We killed a Zori squad. So I needed something to take the huge hit from this Relic 9, super high health Darth Malgus that we have the damage mitigation cron that doesn't work. It's bugged against Malgus and his big hit. And so I needed, L3 is going to die, but we needed something to be able to take that one hit. Okay, so L3 barely survives, and now we're waiting. I mean, this isn't the strongest version of Darth Malak. Of course it's not. But it's also, I mean, it's also not that much of a challenge either. I mean, Darth Talon can really mess you up because she stays in stealth and hides behind the double taunt. It can be a pretty big issue, to be honest. Poor old L3 is not doing great, but yeah. So L3's gone, and what's her name? Talon is in timeout. But okay, we took out Malgus, and even if you don't have even if you don't have the Cron that helps Jedi Cal get his ultimate really fast, or his third move really fast, then I mean, you're still just fine. Honestly, against Malgus in 3s, you're good to go. So there we go. That works. Now let's go into the game, and I'm going to show you a couple things live over there. All right, it's going to be a good time, I'm sure. Let's get to it, folks. Whoa, we're in the game. So we're gonna do an arena attack right now, folks. We're gonna do 2 arena attacks, in fact, because that's all we really have available are Jedi Master Kenobis. So I just want to show you 2 different aspects of it. The first aspect is going to be something that you can do with Jedi Master Luke to just totally use and abuse the riposte ability that he has. So here, let's go here, and I'll select the team. I'll be right back, folks. All right, here we go. So I want to show you how riposte works with Jedi Master Luke, and you can't see it when you're up against Lord Vader very well, because Lord Vader doesn't have protection to ignore, but Jedi Master Kenobi. And now I'm not going to necessarily try to win this, we'll try to win, but the goal here isn't to demonstrate how you can be dominant with Jedi Cal necessarily, specifically with this comp. The biggest thing is I want to show you guys. Okay, so we do the basic, and then we're going to do the turn passing one. This also gives us riposte here for 2 turns. So we're going to hand the turn to, I guess, Jedi Master Luke, because he has the lowest turn meter right now. And now, watch, there's no one taunting. Why don't we just hit Jedi Kenobi? And this probably isn't the best strategy for it, but watch how we can do it. So we call Cal, because he's got riposte. He's got this ability. And look at how he's just hitting underneath protection here. Why don't we actually just... I'll show you guys just how quickly you can take out... Okay, so we just triggered Savior there on her. And we probably should stun, but yeah, there we go. We just took her out. Just gone. Goodbye. And now, let's increase cooldowns on this guy. And why don't we mark Cat just to make sure. Probably want to save that mark, to be honest, just to increase her cooldowns later. But now, okay, we have to do an armor shred on someone. Why don't we do it on him? We could have stunned someone else, I suppose. But instead, here, let's get some foresight on, because our Datacron helps with that. And now, all right, let's hit her here. Sure, we can stun people now that we're out of abilities and stuff. But yeah, okay, so we can take her out. Now we can do the auto kill. We may as well just do it real quick. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool, guys. And now, let's see. Yeah, let's just reset our abilities, so then we can hand the turn back to Cal as quick as we can. Sure, let's just stun him. Wow, he just died. Jeez, that is brutal. All right, so now, all right, we can't even show you guys the ignoring protection aspect of it. Go get him. Get him, Cal. All right, too easy. Now, I'm going to show you guys how you can do this if you have the right Datacron without using a Galactic Legend. Hold on. Alright, folks, so what I decided to do in order to make this video just a little bit shorter, I'm going to link the video that you guys see here on this thumbnail, and so that you can see the more, I don't know, the way you can do this new meta awesome stuff with Cal. If you really want to, it shows some of the stuff, but it's not that relevant to here's what you can do with Cal long term. So I figured we could probably you can find that link in the video description. You can watch Jedi Revan on his own, Jedi Revan lead with Double Yoda, Cal, and Jedi Luke take down just about any Jedi Master Kenobi squad out there. So anyways, guys, Jedi Cal, one of my favorite characters. Honestly, he is a ton of fun. He's going to add a ton of versatility to your roster, and I hope you enjoy him. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zetas prevails.